How should I sit? Is this fine? Is this fine? Welcome to Yelling at Birds. Matt here. It's been a bit. It's been a little bit. I could say I'm going to try to do better at posting more often, but it's just going to be what it is. I'm just going to post. Try to post more, but life happens. I think it's been, I've been under the same kind of stressful uncertainty umbrella that everybody else. It's not really an umbrella, lack of one. The same situation that everybody's kind of been in, and it's tough. It's obviously tough when there's a lot of uncertainty with everything, every single interaction. But I would like to be able to post more often, or more episodes on a regular basis. I actually recorded this 2 days ago, and only to find in the editing phase that it did not get any audio, so I had to scrap the whole thing. So needed a couple of days to pout. Anyway, happy to have you here. Glad to see you. How are you doing? You all right with this whole thing? I mean, it's been a year. It's been a time, and who knows what's going to happen. The January 1st is going to happen, and then it's going to be another calendar year, but the times will be pretty much the same. Things are going to continue, and it's really, up to us to continue finding joy in things and continue creating the lives that we want. Obviously, some things make it easier than others, but day in and day out, it's all on us. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. I was watching, so during this whole thing, I binge like everybody else, and I have comfort series. And one of them, I was really late to the game, like, I don't know, 10, 15 years late, and it was The West Wing. And it's a comfort series for me because I have how they're portraying the characters. You kind of have respect for each and every one of them, most of them. It is kind of a window into an imaginary government where everybody, whether you agree with them or not, are fighting for mainly what they believe to be right. And something really appealing about that, and how that really, we only see that in a television show. But anyway, there's this, it's a very romantic show, and I get caught up in the romance of it. Not all about, sex and romance and dating, but just they're very romantic about the operations of government, and about what this country can be and what we can become. And there's a speech given to friends about, the things that we dare to do, the great things that humanity has dared to do, especially this country. And it got me thinking about romance and responsibility. And I know this podcast has, kind of taken the lane of recovery. Obviously, a great deal of that has to do with myself and what I'm learning as I move along. But the more I read, the more I go through, things that involve recovery, the more I realize that just really, it applies to everything. The lessons that I learn and that I see other people learning in recovery really apply to everything. It's about making good choices, and it's about creating a life for yourself. No matter what, no matter how hard things are, you have to realize that you're making choices for yourself. Deep down, I'm a romantic person. Maybe not all the time with, dating and partners and things like that, but I have, and that maybe has been my downfall at times, I have an over-romanticized view of us, of humanity, and of what life can be. And I think that thinking about recovery, we have these, a lot of people going through recovery might have this over-romanticized view of what their life will be like when they make that choice to stop drinking, to stop abusing drugs, to stop whatever whatever addiction they have. And they may have this over romanticized view of, I'm going to make that choice and then I'm going to be happy and healthy and life is going to be great and everything's just going to change overnight. But really it'll continue to take day in, day out choices. Life just is. And one thing to be careful about, it's definitely okay, because I believe that having a romantic view on things comes from a place of hope and a place of, really just a place of hope. And what to be careful of, though, is when you become so obsessed with that possible romantic life or that possible, romantic way of being in the world, that can, veer into delusion. I can see that veering into delusion. I know I've been there. But with, anything worth doing in life, any of those romantic ideals that you have, there's a responsibility there. And if you let yourself be so, clouded up with the possibilities, the idealistic romantic possibilities of life, you lose sight of the fact that takes day in and day out boring choices. Life doesn't have to be boring, but certain choices that you need to make in order to live a good life, live a healthy life, in order to have a healthy and happy country, are going to be boring, arduous, day in and day out choices. I think this is more for me. Knowing that, over the last couple of weeks, I feel like I've done a better job of, going to bed at the right time, eating well, exercising a little bit more. And I see that, instantly. It's not like I'm, a light switch goes off and I'm like, full of energy, bursting with energy, bursting with motivation, but you feel those gradual incremental improvements. This one ended up being kind of a downer, I think. I think that it's important to know, and especially if you're starting out in recovery, that it's okay. It's okay to have those reach for the star goals, to have that romantic view of what your life can be like if you make better choices. As long as that's grounded in the reality that you actually have to make those choices, even when you don't want to. That's really it. And that's something that it took me. I think I learned it very early on, but I just refused to listen to it. I just continued to want to do whatever I wanted to do when I wanted to do it. And then maybe this is a lesson. Maybe it's a lesson, the fact that over the last month, I've, maybe came out with, my 2-year sobriety anniversary episode, but that was kind of it. I had, interviews, months back, and I really haven't done a whole lot. Because I think, I have this, like any creative, any extra thing that we're all doing, I have this, idealized romantic view of what this could be. And if it's not moving fast enough and I get bogged down, that romantic view that I forget that, hey, if I want to have an episode a week, I should probably think about it. I probably shouldn't just wait till I have the motivation for it, then all of a sudden it's 3 or 4 weeks later. I don't know if I'll post this. I really don't. Well, I should. Because this is kind of what it's about. Just me talking about nonsense and hoping that you're okay. But anyway, I'm going to go. I hope you have happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you're celebrating. I hope you enjoy it and get to spend time with family. If not, hopefully you will be able to very soon. I'm proud of you. I'm happy for you. Keep doing what you're doing. Make those choices for yourself. And be safe out there. Have a good night.